I guess this is them shit. This is when he stopped talking about it. When Charlie Kirk said, I'm not going to talk about it anymore. Charlie Kirk's audience turns on him over Epstein. This is Jimmy Dork.
So here's what Charlie Kirk said after that. So
also, I got to say, when I make fun of Charlie Kirk and what he says, I don't actually take him seriously. I don't expect the truth or even a truly moral narrative from Charlie Kirk. Never would. Jimmy somehow does. Like, if you listen to him talk about right-wing talkers, he's genuinely shocked at when they're hypocritical or they're mistaken or lying.
After that, this is what he said.
Honestly, I'm done talking about Epstein for the time being. I'm going to trust my friends in the administration. I'm going to trust my friends in the government to do what needs to be done, solve it, balls in their hands. I've said plenty this last weekend. So if you guys want to see my commentary on it, that's fine.
Okay, the balls are in your mouth because you're a bitch.
So anybody saying...
Fucking Kurt's finally coming around. And by the way, the funny thing about Kurt is, it's the minute Trump does something this fucking egregious, this obvious, this so on the fucking nose. Because again, where's the fucking laptop? If you're going to say that, Biden wouldn't release information or whatever, Trump never did either, still hasn't. So if it exists, what the fuck are you waiting for? Why would both sides hide it if it exists? Okay, same thing with this situation. Now, we know that they were trying Ghislaine Maxwell during the Biden administration. There were civil suits going on. But it wasn't until Trump was so ham-handed in his brutalizing his own followers over this that Kurt starts bitching about it. And he doesn't bitch about Trump doing this. It's the government. It's the government can't be trusted. Now, does anybody know real quick who was president when when Jeffrey Epstein was arrested the first time and got his sweetheart deal? Does anybody know? Was it broadly Democrat or Republican in the White House? And in what state? No, Trump was in when he was arrested the last time and died. The first time when he was convicted. Yeah, hold on 1 second. Let's see. Yeah. Not only, yes, it was George Bush. Nope, it wasn't Obama. It was George Bush when he was arrested and given his sweetheart deal in the state of Florida. And does anybody remember who the fucking governor was? Jeb Bush. The brothers. One of them was in the White House. One of them was in the governor's house. And Alex Acosta gave Jeffrey Epstein his sweetheart fucking deal. That was during the Bush years. Not during Obama. Not during Biden. And then the next time we get an arrest, where, people have been pushing it for a bunch of time, for a long time, finally get an arrest and he dies in fucking custody under Trump. Now, of all the people associated with Epstein that are alive that have been prosecuted because Brunel killed himself in his cell before he was convicted. Ghislaine Maxwell is the only one, and she was arrested, tried, and convicted during the Biden administration. She might have been arrested before. She was tried and convicted at the very least. Definitely know that. I'm fairly certain. I think the case against her was brought then as well. But I don't want to speak out of school because I don't know how long the case was going on with her specifically. But she was tried and convicted, given 20 years during the Biden administration. And the lawsuits proceeded during the Biden administration. But he gets a sweetheart deal when a Republican is in the White House and and the president's brother is running the state he's in. And then all of the people involved get positions in government under the next Republican president. But it's government, Kurt. It's the government we can't trust. It doesn't matter who's in charge. It's the government. Lazy.
Trust the government.
Yeah. See these assholes? When it's Biden, it's fucking Biden. When it's Obama, it's fucking Biden. Or it's fucking Obama. But when it's Trump, all of a sudden it's the government.
Bitch.
Has lost the plot. And I'm not going to call Charlie Kirk names. I'm not going to disparage him. I'm going to disagree with him on policy and the idea that you're supposed to trust government.
Well, I see through his big head, and that guy's corralling you back into being a good boy, and he knows his job, and I don't know how old he is. He looks very young, so it's already ridiculous.
First of all, wait. Fuck you, Kurt. Did you just hear Jimmy, like, sucking up to Charlie Kirk? Clearly, there is some money to be made talking at TPUSA as a speaker.
That he's a commentator. I mean, props to you having such a deformed head and you've made it as a guy. No,
Look at Jimmy trying to, like, cover this. Hold on 1 second, kids. I'll be right back. I think the Gardner thing's coming. All right. They're almost gone. All right, we're good. Yeah, notice how, like, listen to Jimmy talking about Charlie fucking Kirk. Rake my leaves. Dragons Marine says, rake my leaves. You don't actually think we have leaves here, do you? There are no leaves. I'm racking my brain trying to figure out. I think that guy's blowing sand. Leaves. That's adorable. Listen to Jimmy talk about Charlie Kirk again.
He looks very young, so it's already ridiculous that he's a commentator. I mean, props to you having such a deformed head and you've made it as a guy. No,
wait 1 second.
Has lost the plot. And I'm not going to call Charlie Kirk names. I'm not going to disparage him. I'm going to disagree with him on
why the fuck not?
Policy and the idea that you're supposed to
policy. Oh, you disagree with him on that? I don't know, fucking rural hospitals may or may not need to be shut down so that, like, red state maggots can die driving halfway across the state to get to a hospital.
Trust government.
Well, I see through his big head, and that guy's corralling you back into being a good boy, and he knows his job, and I don't know how old he is. He looks very young, so it's already ridiculous that he's a commentator.
It's not ridiculous. He's literally the Gen Z whisperer. That's the whole point. TPUSA is like a college-related organization. As a matter of fact, he might be aging out of it.
I mean, props to you having such a deformed head and you've made it as a guy. No, it figures in. It figures in because a head that big should be smart enough to know you should never let that go. There's a child rape network that controls the West. The thing he loves, he hates Islam, but he loves the West. And the second some Muslim grooming game in England isn't busted, he's going to be all over that. But the ones that run your own country, your friends you just said, you're going to just trust them. What?
By the way, Kurt prefers Trump to Harris. Remember the woman who never flew on Epstein's plane?
A dipshit. And I would think a thick head like that wouldn't be all skull. I would think there'd be brain in there.
Well, I think he knows that he can't keep talking about Epstein because his audience sees through it. And
I'd become his audience if he had some principle and some integrity. You know, Alex Jones, they attacked him for crying about Trump, but that guy's been through shit none of you could go through.
Yeah, you don't know. You don't know what it's like to be Alex Jones and lose, millions, tens of millions of dollars that you made selling dick pills with lead in them while you mocked dead toddlers to their parents' faces. You don't know what that like. You haven't had problems like that.
billion settlement. Okay? And Alex Jones, I watched.
Over what? Over what, Kurt? Over what? Kirk, whatever. Over what?
Him trying. We had Kathy O'Brien on who didn't want to. She forgives Reagan, even though the despicable. I don't forgive Reagan. I think he's despicable. But this got like. Now's the time to have principles. MAGA was supposed to be.
He voted for this. This is what you're finding out. Both of these assholes voted for Trump. Let's just say it. Fucking say it.
Full transparency.
That's hilarious.
Trump said this on Rogan. I think it would be really cleansing to get all the JFK info. Do you feel like we were cleansed? How come the people that smuggled drugs in this country in the 90s and they're doing it now and ruining it, how come they get to have podcasts? And how come they still get to be in charge?
That's right. Remember that?
Your vote counts while the gangsters that rape your kids are still there? I'm moving on, says Charlie. Nah, I'm not letting him off the hook with that. You're a fuck for that, dude.
Here's the thing. Why would he be on the hook for you? Right? These guys are pissed because they think, and this is supposedly a left-winger. This is the birth of the hashtag faux-gressive concept, was this fucking guy pretending to be to the left of Bernie Sanders. That ship has fucking sailed. And this is a great lesson, everybody, in the talk the talk but don't walk the walk crowd, selling people a line of bullshit.
Yeah. You remember that?
Oh my God, he's reading a joke that Kirk sent him, isn't he? He's about to do it, isn't he?
When the CIA brought crack cocaine to America on purpose, and we all know that they did it. And the guy who exposed it, by the way, committed suicide by shooting himself in the head twice.
Yeah,
so when they do that to someone, that's a message. Nobody else better ever talk against the CIA like that again. If you have
the CIA, Trump is doing this.
Real evidence, which he did. So they shoot him in the head twice, and they say it was a suicide.
Did the CIA make him party with Epstein? Is that what? Is this just MK Ultra at this point? Is Trump just this innocent fucking victim? This poor second generation rich kid who, was, burdened with the millions of dollars his dad gave him, and the CIA shot him with some sort of space ray that made him like become a pedophile's wingman? How about some fucking responsibility?
That's a message. But guess what happened this past weekend at Turning Point USA was huge. It may not seem like it, but the event marks an actual turning point. Ironically, a turning point in history. If you were paying attention, it should be abundantly clear that Charlie Kirk and Turning Point cannot contain the moods and opinions of conservative youth and have no choice but to adapt to it.
Good point.
Right. Thank you. Yes. Thank you for Jimmy Dore beating the drum of youth adapting to the true conservative lifestyle. What?
That's a good point.
So
it is. It's great, especially if you want kids, I guess, to be conservatives, quote unquote, especially the khaki wearing, America First maggot style.
Him saying, I'm not going to talk about it anymore is his way of adapting to it. Tucker literally said, if you serve in the IDF, you should have your citizenship revoked. And the crowd roared and cheered. Now,
yeah, but if you have dual citizenship with Israel, you have to serve in the IDF. It's compulsory. So what he's saying is that no Jews from Israel should be allowed in the country. Or I guess Arabs too. If they're Arab Israelis, they get to be kicked out of the country too. I think it's more about a regional bigotry.
Zionists are all over Twitter crying to Kirk about how he betrayed them by platforming Tucker and Dave Smith. The presence of Tucker Carlson and Dave Smith wasn't an accident. The next generation prefers them over the likes of Laura Jigsaw Loomer, Ben Shapiro, and Mark Levin.
Yeah, no
Fantastic.
kidding.
Kirk is still a Zionist, but he cannot stop the momentum of the
So it's funny, like Laura Jigsaw Loomer, Ben Shapiro, and Mark Levin. So it's only the woman that they make fun of her face. Okay.
anti-Israel right, so he had no choice but to platform them. Otherwise, he'll lose all relevance.
Also, a yarmulke wouldn't fit on his head.
Epstein, JFK.
I'd like to remind everyone that this is a video about Jimmy Dore and Kirk attacking Charlie Kirk for not being conservative enough
9/11
in their
and
mind.
the genocide are all way too big to ignore, and Israel's hands are all over it in one form or another. The tides have overwhelmingly turned against Israel. The collapse of Zionist support on the right is probably the most important achievement, whether directly or indirectly, of October 7th. The Zionists
Wow. An achievement of October 7th.
can spread whatever lies they want about what happened on that fateful day.
Sorry, so Jimmy is now pro October 7th because it served a purpose. Fucking yikes.
The reality is that it broke the narrative for good, and no amount of laws, money, or gaslighting can undo it. And it's only going to get worse for the Zionists.
You know what? This reminds me. I'm getting all.
Also, are you bringing up Zionists about this stuff because Epstein's a Jew? Trump isn't, and they were buddies. Apparently, according to the interview that I saw, the Trump used to call Epstein a Jew bastard to his face, call him cheap, make fun of his nose, that kind of stuff. Yeah, just racist directly to him because he thought it was kind of funny to, this just banter.
Worked up over this, but it's like we said before, like, hey, thanks for showing everybody what it is, because no one would have listened to me if I told them, but these assholes showed everybody.
Yeah.
So thank you for doing that, dipshits.
You mean the IDF soldiers when they brag?
Thank you.
This is, by the way, the same mentality about Mike Pillow, where he's like, thank God Trump lost the 2020 election because it revealed all the evil in our country. Anyways, I love how these guys are turning this into somehow, like, and this is Tucker's thing, is turn the Israel hate on it, and use that to pull in other people. So if you're disenfranchised with the Israeli government or Netanyahu or whatever, you can just lump this in and go, oh, this isn't Trump's fault. This is, the Jews or the Israelis made this happen because he was an asset or an agent. Trump had no power in this. He was shot with a Jewish space laser from MK Ultra. He had no control over his fucking, his actions. He was just led around for a quarter century. It's his fucking fault. It's his fucking friend. Good Lord.